Hi there. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us this morning. So it's Steve here. So welcome to this frighteningly shocking tricks and treats for Microsoft 365 users. Try saying that, tell you that. So thanks for joining this session this morning. We have an hour. Let's see how many tricks and treats we can pack into this hour. For the session, feel free to ask questions, use the Q&A. Marin's in monitoring that as well, so please feel free to put your questions in there, not just questions. We don't really have a chat facility today, so please feel free to use the Q&A section for any comments, any thoughts on anything that is demonstrated today. So let's begin. Let's get underway. First of all, introductions from myself. I'm Steve from Appetite for Business. My job role is IT trainer, productivity coach, trying to help people in the businesses get the most out of Microsoft applications. And I've been using Microsoft applications for as long as I can remember, both in a work capacity and in the last 10 years or so in a training capacity. So trying to get all these little features that will really help save time. And I'm going to share some of them today, only some of them. I can't share all the secrets and reveal all the secrets in one session. There's just too many. So I will be sharing ones on applications that you use every single day. And it might scare you how much we perhaps don't know about these applications that we've been using for such a long time. And Microsoft 365 has evolved quite a lot. So there's a lot of new applications other than the standard PowerPoint, Excel, Word. So I'll maybe introduce you to one of them as well. But like I say, I want you to get the most out of it. I want you to ask me questions. So please use the Q&A section, even if you're just using it to tell me where you're from just now. Just pop something in there. Tell me where you're joining us from. Tell me your favorite Halloween joke, favorite Halloween song. Okay, use that ability in there. Let me know what you're thinking. Excellent. So what are we going to cover in this session? Let me just give you a rundown of what we're going to cover. And also hope you enjoyed the music while you were waiting. Who doesn't love the Monster Mash? So yeah, just to clarify, use the Q&A for questions and for comments in there as well. The first thing we're going to talk about, very first thing, Microsoft Word. It really is witchcraft. There's so many great new features of Word that are just like magic. Okay, witchcraft in a good way. Witchcraft in a good way. So I'll share some of them. Undeath by PowerPoint. Okay, we've all heard of death by PowerPoint, where we've been to presentations and it's either overdone, it's just a nightmare with animations and transitions. So I want to flip that on its head and how you can achieve this undeath by PowerPoint. No zombies required here, you'll be glad to know. But using a really simple technique, you can really enhance your presentations. And it's not difficult. Nothing I'm going to show you here is difficult. It's easy. I can do it. You can do it. It's simple. And then I'm trying to cover all the bases here. Again, please feel free to put in the Q&A. What application do you use the most? Okay, give me an inclination of what's your most used application on a day-to-day basis. And once we've undeaded PowerPoint, we're going to go to Excel. Have you got data demons? You need a Excelarcist, okay? An Excelarcist. Okay, we need to weed out those data demons in Excel. So I'll talk about a couple of tips on Excel in there as well. And then, as if there could possibly be any more, I'm going to go on and talk about Outlook. Don't be afraid of Outlook. Don't be very, very afraid. Outlook can be managed very, very simply. You know, don't battle with your inbox on a daily basis. I'm going to show you some tips in there. And these have all been standard applications so far. So towards the end of the session, I'm going to introduce you to a new app. So do you need to plan a task-based project? Forget the Blair Witch Microsoft project. Use Planner. Okay, Planner is one of my new favorite applications for managing and organizing team tasks. Okay, so everybody knows exactly what needs to be done and who's doing what, etc. With Microsoft project, it still scares me a little bit, but we don't necessarily need to have a more complex application like that if we just want to manage a task-based project within our team. So that's a new one that I'll introduce you to, and hopefully it'll give you the desire to go and see what other applications am I actually missing out on my Microsoft 365 set of applications. Excellent, so that's what we're going to cover, and we're going to start off with Microsoft Word. Okay, remember I said Microsoft Word, it is witchcraft. Okay, good witchcraft, remember. So what I'm going to do first of all is go into Microsoft Word. Okay, bear with me while I minimize all these. So Microsoft Word, I'm going to open it from the desktop first of all, and then to show you another feature, I will go into the online version of Microsoft Word, because if you didn't already know, as part of Microsoft 365, we can access these applications desktop, mobile, and online as well. I really wish I had time to go in to show you how easy it is to format documents, but I simply don't. I want to introduce you to a couple of features that are really good time-saving features in Word. And like I say, they are a little bit, I like to think, magic. First one, I always demonstrate this to people because sometimes we are not the quickest typers in the world, but we can talk quicker than we can type. So it just so happens that Microsoft Word and Outlook and other applications have this dictate feature built in now. So I'm going to do this. Hopefully it'll pick up my microphone. Every word that I say into the microphone now is automatically being converted into text right in front of my eyes. How good is that? That can save me a lot of time. Dictate your emails, dictate your documents, built into Microsoft Word now. No need for separate applications, third-party software. And this has been built on over the last few months. And I'll show that on the online version just in a second. But staying here, maybe I have a document and I want to do other work at the same time. So I can actually make my document read back to me. Okay, if I go to the review tab, this might not come across on the call, but when I click read aloud, it reads it aloud. So it's reading it back to me. And the voices aren't as robotic as they used to once be, but I get a choice. If I find they're talking too slow, I can speed them up. Okay, so I've got that ability. And myself, I don't know a lot of fancy words and things like that. So if I get a document that I don't understand what a word means, rather than go to Google and search for it, say I didn't know what the word automatically meant. Highlight it, smart lookup, and it tells me everything I need to know about that word without having to leave Microsoft Word. So there you go. That's your magic and that's your witchcraft right there in Microsoft Word. So read aloud. And of course, I'm not going to demonstrate all this, but have a look at the editor function for enhanced grammar and spell checks and the translate option as well. Okay, so we've got that built in. Again, let me know what you think of these, if you've seen them before. If you use them already, let me know in the Q&As. So now I'm going to move to the online version of Microsoft Word. Let me just bring this up here. So the online version of Microsoft Word. And why I'm doing this is because there is some features and functionality that are only available in the online version. And I want to demonstrate one of them to you right now. In the desktop version, I showed you dictate, yeah? Showed you how to convert your voice into text. Now, in the online version, I can kind of do the opposite. If I've got an audio recording of somebody's voice of something, if I've got an audio recording and I actually want that transcribed, there we go. I've got transcribe. So I can, in fact, what I'm going to do first of all, let me just show you the file I'm going to use. Okay, so I recorded this earlier. It's basically me talking the script of the Monster Mash song. So let me just play this. This will play, but you get the idea. It's just me talking the words to the song. So I've got that. It's going to play. I was working in the lab late one night. Okay, I won't let you hear the whole thing. It's only a snapshot of it, but it's an audio recording, yeah? And I want to have that in text-based format. So all I would do is go to transcribe, upload the audio, tells you what sort of files it requires as well. So it tells you what sort of files. So you just browse to wherever it's stored. Obviously, depending on the length of the audio file, it can take a little bit of time. I just love the fact that it's a cat that's doing all the hard work. I just think that's great. I don't know why they've used a cat, but it's great. It needs to be online because it goes to Microsoft servers. They do all their magic on it, and there is an information page to tell you how they use the data as well, if you're concerned about that. And then once it's done, it recognizes where the breaks in the conversation are, if there's more than one speaker. This cat is very clever, tell you that. Okay, so there it is, by paragraph, let's say. So if I want to add all of that to the document, I just click add all. There we go, even links to the file. It's obviously as good as the person speaking, but how good is that? A real life example here. Somebody said to me the other day, they had all their grandfather's audio recordings talking about his life, and this person wanted to, write them all down. I showed them this, and that saved him so much time. Okay, so there is lots of uses for that if you've got audio recordings in there as well. So that's only available in Microsoft Online. What do you think? Let me know. Am I the only person that gets excited about some of these features? Okay, so do please let me know. Use the Q&A if you've got any questions as well. Use the Q&A. So that was Microsoft Word. Let's move on now. Let me just remind myself what one we're going to now. So we're going to go to PowerPoint. Okay, so let me open up a new PowerPoint. Top shortcut there, just thrown in, Control-N to open up a new file in the application that you're in. So Control-N. Let me just change the layout to be blank. We've all probably seen really fancy PowerPoints where there's animations and stuff, and it can be overdone. Okay, it can be overdone. But think of this situation. Maybe you've got a product that you want to demonstrate, okay, in 3D. Okay, maybe you just want to use the 3D ability to spruce up your presentation to enhance it. Okay, let me show you how you can do this and how it's not complicated. Okay, first of all, the first thing I'm going to do, I don't want a white background. So, and here's a tip thrown in as well. I want to format the background with a picture, but I don't want to go hunting around Google, signing up for picture websites. I'm just going to insert from the Microsoft 365 built-in stock images. Okay, so they're all here, free, high quality images in here. So let me just do a search for city. Okay, let me use that one. And the example I'm going to use here is maybe I want to show off a 3D model in here of a landscape or something, but try to think what you could use 3D models for. You might have your own 3D models of your products or whatever, but if you just want to really create a stunning PowerPoint presentation without taking too much time, here's how we do it. Insert 3D models. If it was your own 3D file, you can do it from there. Or if you just want to see what PowerPoint has to offer, and there's lots in here. Okay, so if I do, again, a search for city, let's see what comes back with. In fact, I'm going to search for building. See, it's all categorized, so you can either browse by keyword or search by category. Okay, let me just pick, let's pick that one. I'll pick that one. So what I want to demonstrate here is how simple it is to really animate a slide. And I'll show you the quick way to do it without messing about with animations and spending ages on it. So it's 3D, as you can see, so I can spin it. Okay, somebody stop me because I could just spend ages just doing this. So here's where I introduce some kind of, not cheat, but a really easy way to animate slides. So say I want, when I'm presenting this, I want it to start here. What I'm going to do now is duplicate the slide. And then as I'm presenting it, I want this 3D model to move over here, be a little bit bigger, and perhaps spin around so I can see that side of it. So I'm building up a sequence right here. I'm going to duplicate it again, right click, duplicate. And then I want it to end up over here, spun around like so, maybe even a bit bigger. And then I'm not going to do it now, but in fact I will. I could insert shapes such as block arrows if you want to point to a specific part of it. You know, write in text in there. And then I want to do the same here. Insert shapes, block arrows. I want to point to the chimney thing. And you get the idea. I'll just do one more real quick. You know, so you can imagine the first time I saw this demonstrated, they were using it on the Hubble telescope, okay, and pointing out different parts of the Hubble telescope. So yeah, how do I now bring it all together? Not using animation, it's using a transition between the slides, using a transition called morph. Absolutely nothing to do with the little plasticine man that we saw on TVs when we were all kids. It's morphing one slide into another. Okay, I'll do the same in the third one. You can see how simple this is, but effective. And it's much more effective when we see this full screen. So let me just run it full screen. Okay, so I could be talking about that part, la la la, here we go. There's the chimney, la la la, and there's the trees. How simple was that? Come on, you must have a comment about that. Pop in the Q&A. What do you think about two things there? The morph transition, okay, and well, three things, the 3D models, I'm giving them all away right now, the 3D models and the stock images for the background. That took me literally less than 3 minutes, I would say. Okay, so PowerPoint, three things there, the stock images, the 3D models, and as you can see, there is lots of categories in there. Okay, so it's something to investigate. You know, it's got its real business uses as well. But imagine if you've got a product that you want to demonstrate and you've got a 3D model file, or if you just want to enhance your presentation really simply. So three things. Love the morph transition. Yeah, it's amazing. It is amazing. I could do this all day. I'm having to drag myself away from this one right now. Excellent. So that's PowerPoint. Okay. Let's move on. Let me just close that one. I'm not going to save that. And we're going to move to Excel now. Okay, we're going to move to Excel and we're going to Excelercise our data demons. Okay, I know I'm terrible with the jokes. What's the joke I was thinking of earlier? Oh yeah, one time I went to Halloween trick-or-treating party with two twins dressed as witches, and I didn't know which witch was which. Okay, terrible Halloween joke there. Absolutely terrible joke. Okay, do better. If you can do better than that, I'm sure you can. Put them in the chat area while I go to Excel. Let's see if I've got it open. I do. Okay, here's a very simple Excel table with somebody's house finance across a year. There's obviously calculations somewhere. It's been laid out quite logically. Okay, I can see there might be calculations in here, maybe in here, but that's simple. But think of your spreadsheets. There might be calculations and formulas scattered everywhere. How, by looking at it, do we know where these Excel formulas are? How can we get all these formulas to be shown really quick without us having to click like this? Basically, you do this, okay? That's just shown us where all the cells that contain formulas are, as opposed to just values, okay? Without us having to go and click in the cell. Okay, so I just done that. It's mind control. I've done that with mind control. Okay, I just said, show me the formulas, and it did. Okay, not really. I used a keyboard shortcut. Okay, the way you can do that on the ribbon is from the formulas tab, show formulas. It tells you the keyboard shortcut there if you want to know it. It's control and the key just below your escape button. So control, or you can do it in the formula bar. Okay, a great way of just revealing where all these data demons are, where all these formulas are. And that's great. That's shown me where they all are. So here's another tip on Excel. If I knew say I wanted to format every cell that contains a function or formula to be a different color so I can make it stand out. You know, once I know where they all are, I could select them, hold my control to select also these and also these. And then I could do the formatting. But there's always a better way, because first of all, I might have formulas all over this worksheet and it's not as easy to select them all like that. So here's where I want to introduce you to a feature called Go to Special. It's very special. Why is it special? Because I can tell Excel to go and select data cells that contain a specific type of information without me doing this. I go up here to find and select, go to special, and then I can say, okay, Excel, select all the cells in this spreadsheet that could contain millions of cells, just select the ones that contain formulas. And it's done exactly what I just did a couple of minutes ago, but a lot quicker and a lot more precise. So go to special, and that's everywhere on the spreadsheet. And there's lots of other options in there, because we're not always sure what cells have been formatted with a color manually or conditionally. Okay, so it just selects those type of cells. Okay, so go to special. Shortcut key for that, control and the letter G. Brings up this box and I can go to special. Okay, so two things in there. There was the way to reveal the formulas by show formulas or using the keyboard shortcut. And then there was the go to special. Go to cells and select them if they contain a specific type of data. Okay, so we've got that. It's these things you'd be surprised. You know, I train people in Excel all the time, and yeah, there is a lot of people who are, you know, really advanced users when it comes to pivot tables and data analysis and things like that, but they don't know these fundamental tips, the really essential things that can save us time when working on, you know, large spreadsheets, little things like that. Okay, even things like right clicking down here on the arrows so I can jump to a specific sheet without having to, keep clicking. Excellent. And one other thing, actually, I'm going to show this. I wasn't going to, but because this feature is about to be added to, if I go to a new sheet, okay, say I just type in the name of 4 countries, like so. And maybe for reporting purposes, I would like to know more about these countries. Okay, so I'm going to quickly format this as a table just because that's good practice, first of all. And then maybe for my reporting purposes, maybe I need to know the population of Sweden. Maybe I need to know the land area of Norway for whatever reason. If I needed to do that, I would probably go to Google, find out, type it in, have to constantly go back and forward. Not now, not now. If I tell Excel that these cells contain data of a specific type, geographical data, it now gives me the ability to say, okay, add to my table the area, the capital city, the currency code. I'm just, again, I'll get carried away here, the forested area. Get really carried away and do national anthem, which I'm sure is in here as well. Okay, and that's all data taken from Microsoft's data servers, so it's constantly going to be up to date. You can refresh it at any time. Okay, and it's constantly going to be up to date. Excuse me. And the reason I'm mentioning that, there's only 2 just now, but if you look on LinkedIn, there's a lot of information just now about lots of new data types coming. Okay, so keep an eye on that. Look, if you're not already connected to me on LinkedIn, please connect to me if you're on LinkedIn, and you'll be kept up to date when these new features are announced. Okay, let me just check the questions. Okay, what is the shortcut to copy a formula down an entire column without dragging down with the mouse? Okay, the one for that would be, let me see if I can do that here. Okay, it would be using, you can't have any blank columns. Okay, if you wanted to copy a formula down, say I just said equals that, take away 26. Okay, so I've got a formula in there. Yeah, I could drag it all the way down. No idea where it stops, but really simple, double click. Okay, double click down there. Okay, all the way down. That only works if I do that again. And if I had a blank column in there, it's not going to work. Okay, so that's another reason why not to have blank rows or columns just for the sake of it. Okay, I would, if I wanted the blank white space, just make it bigger, and then you can double click. Okay, so hopefully that answers that question in the Q&As in there. Excellent. So we're really getting through this. So hope you've all had your notes, taking your mental notes as well. Okay. What are we going to move on to next? So let's move on to Outlook, Microsoft Outlook. We're all scared of our inbox sometimes. Let me bring up my Outlook. Okay, it might scare you here that I've only got 6 items in my inbox. This morning, that was actually 0. Okay, because some of you might know this already. I work to a principle called Achieving Inbox Zero, and I've been doing that, I think, for the last, can't remember when I came up with this. So I remember I was supporting an organization, and other workers were building a big boat. Okay, this is where I started this process. It's called the 4D process. Okay, up here. Not going to go into it today. That's something you can perhaps find out another time, but that's what helps me manage my email using the features of Outlook Quick Steps. So I'm going to tease you with that. I'm not going to go into it today. What I do want to show you, something that's new as part of the Microsoft 365 platform in Outlook, is this thing called Insights. This might really scare you, but it'll scare you to being more productive in managing your time more effectively. What it does, again, common theme here is like magic. It will analyze your working habits within Outlook, and it gives you insights into your behavior. Okay, so it knows if you're perhaps having too many meetings, it knows who you have emailed requesting things and prompts you to follow them up, helps you with your wellness and make sure that you're actually taking lunch, because even when we're working in the office, a lot of people work through their lunch. Sometimes working at home, it can be a bit more difficult to actually make that break for lunch. So yeah, Microsoft Insights, okay, have a look at it. It's something that you have to add in. If you don't have it already, there is, I can pop this, oh, I've closed it. But yeah, there is a link that I can share that you just add it as an Outlook add-in. Okay, so Insights in there. There's a whole raft of analytics and stats that are built into Microsoft 365. If you've got access to the admin center of Microsoft 365, you can even get a productivity score for your entire company, so you know if people are using these applications effectively. Okay, so it's not like Big Brother is watching you, because it's all for everybody's benefit. Okay, what I will actually throw in here, something that's quite quirky. If I want to set up a new appointment, and it's for 5 weeks today, instead of me counting on my hands how many weeks that is, Outlook understands natural language. 5 weeks a day is the 4th of December. Say it as you type it as you see it. Type it as you say it. Say what you see and all that. Even recognizes public holidays. If I even just typed in Halloween, 31st of October, as if we didn't know. So it recognizes public holidays as well. Try it. You know, you can be really specific. 3 weeks yesterday, 4 weeks tomorrow, 5 weeks next Tuesday, and everything like that. Okay, so in Outlook understands natural language. Excellent. So I'm going to move on now. We've covered all the standard applications, you know, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook. Now I'm going to introduce you to a new application. Well, let me know if it's new. Has anybody used Microsoft Planner before? Microsoft Planner. Okay, well, you're going to get familiar with it right now. So it's a way of managing a task-based project, and it's really simple. You know, as you can see, I live my life by Planner right now. How does it work? I'm logging in through the office.com portal right now, but if you use Teams, you can incorporate this into Teams. But for this one, okay, let's keep it a little bit light here. Let's say I was planning a Halloween party. Okay, I can decide who I want to invite to the plan, if I want to add it to an existing team that I've got, either or. And this is how simple it is. It's not replacing Microsoft Project. What it is replacing is, we're also used to having Excel trackers for everything, making them look really color coordinated, assigning it to people. And I was the same up until I discovered Microsoft Planner, because it's so simple, but so effective. And the way it works, I can divide the plan, everything I need to do to organize this Halloween party, into different sections or compartments that Planner calls buckets. Okay, so I'm going to add a new bucket. What would I need? Well, again, looking for your input in here in the Q&A. What would you need to do in order to plan a good Halloween party? Okay, let me say decorations. Everything to do with decorations, I want in that bucket. This bucket, my favorite, everything to do with booze. Okay, everything in there. Invites in here. Okay, so try and relate it to something perhaps more business related than a Halloween party, but what would you use it for? How would you structure it? And then I can start adding the tasks in to the relevant bucket. Just a case of clicking add task. Okay, I'm going to go straight to this one. Add task. What do I want to do? Maybe I want to make Halloween cocktails. Okay, so cocktail recipe. I can set a due date. I can assign it to people from here, and then I add the task. And now you might be thinking, is that it? You said this was really good, Steve. That's a bit basic. It's just a text box with a little circle to say I've done it. Well, you would be right until you actually click into it. So much more that I can do in here, as well as assigning it to people. I can update the progress as it goes, the priority, set deadlines, due date, as I'm going through, or if there's more information needed, we need some amazing cocktails. So give it a description about what the task is for, and then break it down even further. You know, we all love checklists. Well, I may be speaking for everybody there, but I love checklists. So I could say by recipe book, pick a cocktail by ingredients. By ingredients, drink. Okay, I could do that. I could, if I did find a cocktail here, I can add the recipe. Okay, you can add attachments, you can upload attachments, you can include links. And thinking the fact that this will be for the whole team, everybody that's been assigned the task, you can add comments into the task, ask questions about it, and everything's retained in the one place. Yeah, it's a little bit like a Trello board. I've heard people liking it to like Kanban boards, that kind of thing as well, which I've never really used, but yeah, it's like a Trello board as well. So I would do that. Again, color coordinate it, add a label, like so. And once it's there, in fact, what I'm going to do is show you, you don't have to have everything displaying on the task card. Just take the tick box out of there. And it's easy to move tasks to different buckets. You can drag and drop. You could copy tasks. You can imagine that this screen will become quite busy the more tasks that there are, which is the whole point of it, because that's the board view. For you to get a high-level overview of where your plan is at, you know, everybody wants dashboards these days. So here's where you can get a high-level overview of where this plan is at. Okay, I know there's only one task, but you can see the status of all tasks, who's got too many, who's not got enough, and everything in here. And then you can even further filter it over here. So this will dynamically update according to how you filter it. And still, that's sometimes not enough for people. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I can see all my tasks. I can see it on a dashboard view, but I need it on a schedule view. Oh, let me just go back because I never put a due date on this. Let's do that now. Schedule view. You can see it on a calendar view. So where things are coming up, planning ahead, you can add tasks directly in here as well. So board view is where you see all your tasks and how they're divided into the different buckets. Charts view, high level overview of where the plan is at. And schedule view which is on a calendar. If that's still not enough, some people say to me, oh, where's the Gantt chart view? Like what project has with the timeline? Well, it doesn't have it at the moment. There's sometimes no need for it because the use of Planner might not need that timeline view. But what I would say to people is, well, if you want to have a Gantt chart, there is the opportunity to export your plan to Excel, go off and create your own one. Okay, it's not built in yet. Have a practice of using your stacked bar charts and create your own Gantt chart, or use Project, but it doesn't have that ability built in. I will also point out just now as well, it doesn't have the ability to link tasks and give them relationships to each other. It doesn't have that ability, and I've found I don't need that ability. I've been using Planner. I couldn't have worked with our team so effectively over the last 6 months if I didn't have Planner. Okay, because we can't just turn around to our colleagues and say, can you do this? Have you done that? So everything's in Planner. I just put everything in Planner. Nobody does the tasks, but that's a story for a different time. All my tasks are in Planner. So we've got it there. So that's a new application, part of the Microsoft 365 set of applications. Just to sort of give a summary of some of the other ones that you might have seen, but you just weren't 100% sure what they were. I'm not going to go into them, I'm just going to summarize them. Forms, that's what you all used to register for this event. So Forms is a way of creating surveys, quizzes, polls, etc. If you're currently using SurveyMonkey and paying for it and using it, and you've got Microsoft 365, you should really be using Forms. What else? Sway, I'm looking for Sway. That's another way of presenting information as opposed to using PowerPoint. It's all online. A lot of people are using it for company newsletters, brochures, things like that. SharePoint's a whole 2-day thing in itself, but that is a fantastic application. And very recently started using this one, To Do. To Do allows you to really keep track of all your tasks in one place, whether you've been assigned them in Planner, whether it's a task you've created in Outlook, whether it's an email you've flagged. To Do is my new favorite. Okay, it's added up there to the top. Perfect. Wow, 42 minutes past already. Okay, so let's just summarize what we've covered. So if I go back into my slides. So we started off with Word, the dictate feature, the read aloud, the smart lookup on the desktop application, and then online version, we looked at transcribe. We looked at PowerPoint, and we don't want to give people death by PowerPoint. Hopefully you've seen it's simple to use these new built-in features like the stock images, like the morph transition, like the 3D models. And Excel Assist, we excelled our data demons. Showed you how to reveal all formulas, showed you how to select cells of a specific type, and as an extra, I showed you how to copy or fill a formula all the way down. And then we looked at Outlook. Hopefully we're not afraid of Outlook anymore, remembering how to achieve inbox zero and my 4D process using quick parts, which I didn't show you, but I want to encourage you to find out more. And incidentally, I have updated the 4D process to 5D process, and that purely is created by me. And then we looked finally at a new application, Planner. So organizing a task-based project, Planner. So that's everything we covered in this Halloween session, but like all good Halloween films, there's always a twist at the end, isn't there? Okay, there's always a twist at the end. What's the twist here? Okay, so Windows, it's no clown. IT's no clown. So I want to leave you with some, I guess, really quick fire shortcuts for using Windows 10. Okay, so you might need to get your pen and paper at the ready because these are going to be coming quite thick and fast. So the first one that I want to show you or tell you about, if you've got a lot of applications open on your computer, Windows key and the letter D brings everything down to the desktop. Okay, Windows D brings everything to the desktop. Sometimes call that one the boss is coming shortcut. So close all my things that I don't want them to see. Only kidding, only kidding. So Windows D, Windows E opens up Windows Explorer. Okay, without having to go do. Windows E opens up Windows Explorer. If you are trying these as I'm doing them, don't try the next one, okay? Because we can lock our PC by using Control-Alt-Delete, yeah? But that involves 3 fingers and an extra click. Again, don't do this one just now. I'm about to tell you. Windows and the first letter of the word lock will lock your PC. Okay, just does it. But don't do it now. So that's Windows L. Other ones, Windows and I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Bring that down here. Windows V, this is quite a new one to me. Windows V brings up your clipboard. Okay, it brings up your clipboard. Okay, it brings up your clipboard. So you can see everything I've had on my clipboard. Okay, Windows V shows you everything that you've copied and pasted very recently. Windows and the arrow keys now, if I bring up this slide here, and if I want this to be at half of the screen, in fact, I'm going to pick a different one. I'm going to open up Excel again. So Windows and the arrow key will put this window to half the screen. Okay, Windows and the arrow key puts it to half the screen. And then I can say another half, I want that. So Windows and the arrow keys automatically size your window to be half of the screen. Okay, Windows and the left or right arrow. 3 keys this time. Windows, Shift and S allows me to take a quick screenshot that I can copy and paste anywhere without having to use the snipping tool, which in itself is a great app, but Windows Shift S, take a screenshot of that, like so. And 2 more, I think, and then we'll be done. See if there's any questions or anything to be answered. Windows Tab, Windows and the Tab key allows you to cycle through all your applications and pick what one you want. Also gives you a timeline of everything that you've done recently. Okay, so you've got your timeline down there. This is something for you to investigate. You can have a second desktop if you want. Okay, you can have a second desktop. These are all available from Windows and the Tab key. Windows Tab. And then I guess the final one, if I think of all these things that I've got pinned to the taskbar, ignoring these first 2, so that's position 1, that's position 2, that's position 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you get the idea. If I quickly wanted to launch OneNote, which is position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, I could press Windows key and the number 8 launches that. Okay, so I'm all about the keyboard shortcuts. So that's a few extra things at the end. Let me just bring my slides back up. Get rid of the scary clown. Any questions? Now we've got a few more minutes before the end of this session. So any questions that you want to ask, please do put them in the Q&A section. And while I'm waiting for the questions to come in, we'd like to know what you thought. Okay, what did you think of this session? Was it useful? Have you learned something? Did you like these tricks and treats? That QR code on the screen there, if you get your phone and just take a picture of that, if you've got your phone nearby, which I'm sure you all do because our phones are never far away from us, very short form to complete, just so we can find out what you thought of the session and what else you might be interested in. And these tricks and treats, or these features and functionality that I've demonstrated today, that is the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more, not just to these everyday applications we've used, and we've not really been using them to their full potential for so long. There is also all the new applications. So if you do want to continue in this sort of learning journey and be more productive and be more, use these applications to their full potential, okay, have a look at our subscription service called Cube. Okay, there's the web address here. Basically, it's an online subscription service where you've got access to all these video hints and tips libraries that we have, access to monthly masterclass webinars where you can, pick my brains, you can learn from each other. There's a forum, there's networking sessions, so go to this website here and have a read about it. If my bad jokes today haven't put you off, then feel free to have a look. So m365cube.com. It's available on an individual subscription basis. We do corporate offerings as well, but it's all our knowledge from all our time working with these applications, knowing how they're used as well, where they're valuable. So please, if it's something that interests you, have a look. If you want to find out more information about it, okay, it's all on here, but feel free to get in touch with us. And I'm not going to say it's cheap because that kind of devalues it, but the cost isn't expensive. Okay, you can see lots of other packages out there that are probably more expensive but less valuable, I would say. Okay, don't quote me on that. Okay, so yeah, please feel free to have a look at that. If it's not something for you, that's absolutely fine. But you might know somebody that would really benefit from being part of this service there. So please feel free to have a look and ask more questions. And also, if you're on LinkedIn, feel free to connect with me. Also, this guy here, follow this guy. He's really good for sort of public speaking and presenting tips. He's quite funny as well. But follow him. Feel free to connect with myself as well and the company page. So please feel free. Otherwise, hope that's been a bit of learning and fun on a Friday morning. And that's really everything that I was going to talk about. So unless there's any other question, I'm just seeing some new questions here. Let's see. Let me just do a final check. Loved it, learned so much. No worries. Okay, thanks everybody. Can't find it to-do app. Might not be on the package. Do a search for it. Okay, excellent. So I'm not going to witter on any further. I'm sure you've all got lots of things to do, lots of Halloween cocktails to prepare. Now you can create a plan for that. Perfect. So that's everything for me. Thanks for joining, everybody, and hopefully speak to you sometime soon. Thanks for now and enjoy your weekend when it comes. Thanks.